What if you could research a stock and the likely performance in minutes instead of hours? Well, the great news is that you can with this new tool that I'm going to show you today called TrendSpider. If you're new here, I'm Mike. I'm a senior finance leader. I've worked everywhere from the startups to the Fortune 100. And on the side, I spend a lot of time evaluating both the healthcare industries and the telecom industries and their stock performance. I used to spend at least an hour every single time I would bring in a new stock and want to set up an evaluation on a stock. And obviously that really limits my ability to cover those two industries well. But I discovered a new tool called TrendSpider that I've been using to speed up this analysis. The really incredible thing is that TrendSpider allows me to do both fundamental analysis and technical analysis at the same time. If you don't know what those are, I'm going to explain it later. Just know that that is really cool. Go ahead and leave a comment down below with any questions you have on trading or any things you're struggling with. I'd love to read and respond to every single one so I can produce the best content and the most helpful content for you. I would also really appreciate it if you could subscribe to this video and ring the bell so you don't miss out on a single one of my unfiltered videos. I post a brand new long form video every Monday and post short snippets every single day of the week. So with that, let's get started. First of all, what is fundamental analysis and technical analysis if you're not familiar? If you're familiar, go ahead and just skip to the next section. Fundamental and technical analysis are the two primary ways of evaluating the potential in a stock. Fundamental analysis does just what the title says. It focuses on the fundamentals of the company. This is the underlying performance, the market and economic drivers impacting the company, the balance sheet. This is how management's running it, things that are being communicated in the earnings statements, the fundamentals of the company, and where the market may be missing out on fundamentals and creating an investment opportunity, or conversely, overvaluing fundamentals and it's an investment downside. Now, on the flip side, you have technical analysis. This is purely looking at market movement, whether just the stock or relative to others, to look for buying opportunities, specific entry points. This is a lot more what's used by day traders, the technical analysis, versus fundamental analysis, which tends to be used more over the long term. Personally, fundamental analysis is how I like to invest, but I know that as I evaluate these two industries, my readers like to understand a lot more what's going on, so I try to weave technical and fundamental analysis in together. And the challenge has been, these have been two very distinct processes, but now there's an ability to bring them in together. So with that, let's jump right into TrendSpider and see how we can do this live. Welcome to TrendSpider. As it says on the screen, this wants to replace all of your research and trading tools with one single tool. Let's go ahead and launch the dashboard. Now, this is the main screen. You'll see all of the trading candles spread across this over time. Right now, we're looking from January 2022 till present November 2024. And I've already got AT&T pulled up because it was the last stock I was looking at. You can look at any stock really that's available and has data. Just as an example, if I wanted to go to Verizon, we'll go to VZ, and Verizon comes up. But we'll go back to AT&T, T, because that's what we want to look at. Now, there's a lot of options, and if you're new to this, it might be a little overwhelming, but I want to show you the really key functions here. First thing I want to show you is how you lay indicators on, and this is where you can really pull in a lot of the fundamental and technical analysis simultaneously. So in this case, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click Indicators. And what I want to do is I want to look for my favorite fundamental indicators. So we'll go ahead and type fundamentals. All right, so for fundamentals, we're going to want to pull in revenue. All right, and then I'm also going to pull in return on invested capital. And for both of these, I want to compare to the sector. I want to see how they're doing for these two. All right, now that I've got the fundamentals added, you can keep adding down here. So I also want to do relative performance. So I just want to see how the stock is performing. We'll do the same thing relative to the sector. And then another one of my favorites, I want to pull in insider trading. And this is not the kind of insider trading that will send you to jail. This is literally insiders disclosing that they're buying or selling stocks, not the jail kind. So let's go to insider actions. All right, and we're going to apply those. Now you'll see the screen will change. So what you'll see here is any activity of the insider trading is over here. So there was a sell here, There were some different gifts here. I'm not seeing any buys along this horizon. Down here, you'll see the fundamentals of revenue versus the same sector. You'll see that by and large, AT&T has been over-delivering. For return on invested capital, again, AT&T has been over-delivering relative to the median lately, significantly over-delivering. And for relative performance, AT&T has been primarily tracking with the industry. The only real outperformance was back in 2022. So they're performing with the industry. But overall, it looks like this is a stock that is kind of outpacing the industry if you look at the fundamental analysis, but it's not showing that price performance. The other thing I'm looking at is that as you see all of this stock being gifted, and you see only one sell all the way back here in February 2024, insiders are signaling that they believe in this company because everyone is holding on to their grants. We're not seeing any sales. Now, we're also not seeing any buys, probably because a lot of the gifting that's been happening, but we're not seeing sells, and that's really what's critical. So this signals to us that this may be a buying opportunity. Let's contrast that and let's see how Verizon is doing on these same metrics. Yeah, so Verizon is pacing pretty much with the telecom industry, but we're seeing that they're really struggling to deliver a return on invested capital. We're also seeing that their revenue is struggling. So this looks like, again, you're starting to see that AT&T may be an opportunity, a little bit more selling activity still historically. How about T-Mobile? We'll just round out the big three. And the great thing is all of this translates. So T-Mobile having some strong performance. You're seeing really good performance in ROIC. You're seeing a good performance in revenue, but you're seeing some really negative insider activity on sell, which is concerning. And looking at the kind of the long upward trend, you could say, hey, insiders might not believe in this position, unlike AT&T, where we're seeing strong performance and insiders are really buying into this. So there's a couple other cool things we can add here. We can build some sidebars. I'm going to add in analyst estimates. So this is going to show me how analysts are looking at AT&T. A lot of buying activity, always like that. Let's take a look and see if there's been any 10Q reports lately. All right, so this is all the 10Q performance, and you can see how revenue is performing over time. EPS is performing over time. If you want to look at insiders in a more specific way, not on the chart, so these are all the awards that have been given, specifically who they were awarded to. You can scroll back and you can see that last buy we saw, or sells rather, so here's all the sells we saw back there. This is a really cool feature I like to look at for fundamental analysis. You can add news. And so this is any news that's been scanned about AT&T. Close those up. Also have the ability to just look at options and see if there's any unusual options sitting out on the market. Nothing too crazy happening here. Now, a really cool feature where we start to get into some of the technical analysis is we can look at seasonality. So we'll add that to the sidebar, and you can actually, if you see this symbol right here, you can actually go ahead and expand that. So what this is saying is, if it's above 50%, really if it's above this kind of 60% mark, you're looking at significant favorable seasonality, meaning that's a good point historically to enter. And if it's below the 40% mark, that's a very bad time to enter, and you may want to sell before that period. So what we're seeing for AT&T is January and February have historically really struggled, but December has historically been a good buying opportunity. So that means as you get to the end of November, that may be a good time to enter the stock. So that's great. So all in all, what I'm seeing is AT&T looks like it is probably a really good buying opportunity, and it may have been undervalued by the market because its performance is exceeding its peers, but it's not seeing that same kind of stock momentum. But now let's look across the industry and see if we have any other opportunities. So first, let's go to the market scanner. So something I like to do when I look out at the market is I want to look at companies that are having their earnings in the near future or had their earnings. So I'm going to pull in earnings in the next 7 days, because what you'll often find is that investors over or underreact around earnings season, and that can create some really compelling buying opportunities. So we'll go ahead and put earnings in, and we're going to scan. All right, so this is a list of companies that have their earnings, and you see a lot of them are down here. But what I'm going to do is I want to pull in the year-to-date change. Excellent. And so now that's going to show me where the activity now isn't necessarily heading in the same direction. So you would see something here, you'd see NGVC is essentially flat, it's up 111% over the year. Starting to see some upward activity on MATW, even though it is down for the year. So these opportunities where you're seeing, up or down, that becomes very critical as you start to think about how earnings are. And this is where you would then dive in and start to do that fundamental and high-level technical analysis I showed you. There's a really cool section called What's Happening Now that's going to show you different cuts of the market. Something that I really like to look at is CEOs buying their own stock. So we can pull that in. So here's a list of CEOs buying their own stock. Now I do want to go ahead and filter this because I don't want to just pull in any small transactions. We want to make sure, let's say the value is more than $1 million. So now this gives you a list of companies that you might be interested in based on how the CEOs are looking at it. Here's another really cool one. I like to look at what people are saying about price targets. So we can look at news featuring price targets and see where anybody has mentioned stocks and if anything's coming up. So if we see Ally Financial raising the price target, we could just click on that and it will update here and we can see if we see anything interesting. This is the really cool thing, is that as you're looking at any of these special use cases, you can go straight to them by clicking on it. If I go to stock market map, this is a feature that I love to use. We can look at key outliers in healthcare. So this will look across the entire healthcare industry and show me where there's any outliers that I want to take a look at. Love this. If I go here and click on customize, I can flip this over and we can go look at telecommunications. I'll apply that. Okay, and now it is telecommunications. We see TMS there, VZT. So pulling out all of these different price to book values. Again, people look at fundamental analysis. So let's go ahead and go back to T and show some high level technical analysis. Right, so I've still got all of my analysis here, but now I'm going to lay on some technical analysis. All right, so the first thing that I like to look at, again, thinking about fundamentals, thinking about earnings season, is where's the ratio of people who want to buy a stock to people who want to sell a stock. So the first one I'll look at is I'm going to look to see if there have been any bullish signals from engulfing, and that is where there are significantly more buyers for the stock than sellers, which drives up the price. This is where we start to get a little bit more advanced in the fundamentals, but just some real basics still, things you can kind of conceptually understand. So over here, we're seeing that there was significantly more sellers than buyers, which drove the price down. Now over here, we're seeing that there were significantly more buyers than sellers, which drove the price up. And since then, the price has been trending up. That is a bullish sign on the stock. And again, the fact that this pattern has not repeated, again, a bullish sign on the stock. Now, before I show you the last feature that is truly impressive, I did want to mention that TrendSpider is having a Black Friday sale through the end of November 2024. If you look down in the description, you'll see a link. All of my viewers are going to get a special offer from TrendSpider. You can either get a massive discount on a prepaid annual plan, or you can get a 7-day free trial to make sure you like the service, followed by a slightly smaller but still substantial discount on the plans. The link down below is an affiliate link. I will receive a small commission if you click on the link, but it does not change the price you pay, and you receive a better discount by going through my link. After the end of November, if for some reason you're watching this later on in the year, I will have my standard affiliate link down there with the current best available offer. Again, I'll receive a commission on that, but it will not change the price you pay. Also, if you haven't already and you're enjoying the video, I would really appreciate if you could go ahead and subscribe and like the video. This really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm and helps me make sure that I can continue bringing you content just like this every single week. So now, the last feature I want to show you is the new AI trading models. Now, what I'm showing you is still in beta, so we could see a few, glitchy things here or there, but this is incredible and brings the power of AI trading models right to your desktop. So with AI models, we need to train them ourselves. So I'm going to train it on the S&P 500. What I want to do, I want to predict if the next 40 candles, if it's likely to hit a profit take of, we'll say, 3.0%, and I'll do a stop loss at 1.0%. All right, so we'll go ahead and hit next. Let's see if we can do a random forest, k-nearest, naive Bayes, or logistic regression. I'm going to do a logistic regression. Big fan of that one. Now, we have to prompt the model of how we want AI to look at it, but I can ask the AI for suggestions. All right, so we've gotten an input back from the AI. There is a model. Confidence is 64% plus, so we want to go and back test it. So let's go ahead and go back test. All right, so now we've got the S&P 500 pulled up. We've got our AI tool pulled right here, and let's go ahead and run it. All right, and there you go. And now the model is deployed, and you can use this, you can back test, you can do anything you want, and then you can go and just, add another model and start running that. Absolutely incredible. This is really high power technology that even people in the industry are just starting to get access to, and the fact that you have the ability to use it here is fantastic. Again, it's in beta, but this is continuing to develop, and it is really exciting. And talk about saving even more time, like I said at the beginning of the video. If you enjoyed this tutorial of TrendSpider, please leave a comment down below and let me know. I read and respond to every single comment, and I would love any feedback that you have to offer. Again, don't forget that there is a link down in the description to get their special Black Friday sale available through the end of the month, and after that I'll flip it out to a link that'll take you to whatever the best available offer is at the time for my viewers. As I mentioned before, this is an affiliate link, and I'll receive a small commission if you click it, but it will not change the price you pay, and it will only give you the best available deal at the time. If you take away one thing from this video, it's that this tool allows you to do fundamental analysis and technical analysis simultaneously, which has rarely been available, and that this can save you just a tremendous amount of time. For me personally, this has taken an hour or two of stock analysis down to 10 to 15 minutes using all these tools, and it's given me access to technical analysis that I wasn't even doing before because I didn't have the resources or capabilities to do it this fast and this effectively. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like down below and hit subscribe so I can keep bringing you the best content on YouTube every single week. That's all for today. I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, this is Mike signing off from F9 Finance. Cheers.